Hello there.
What's up? How you doing?
Going great.
Ah, man, we've been finding out a lot of things. And excuse the noise in the background. I'm actually getting food. I'm outside.
Okay.
But yeah, so what have you been up to?
Not much. Reinvestments. Learning languages to spread the word of our message of the New World Order.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've been trying to look more into real estate. I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, how many languages have you learned so far?
Well, currently I'm learning about 13.
13.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. And you've learned. Wait, how do you have time to do all of this?
Well, you never know. I have loads of time on my hands. And given how fast I learn on the app I'm using, I thought, you know what? If I have this much time to learn one, may as well learn like 3, 5, and so on.
You know, that's you know that's why that's why I kind of want to start real estate too. Because like, here's the thing, or at least learn more about it before I do it. Because I want to kind of have time on my hands to do all that stuff too.
Yeah.
Yo, Risk, what's up?
Yeah, not much.
So, have you learned any new languages?
No, not recently. No, I've been learning about piano. I'm learning about piano. For some
Oh.
reason. But yeah, this thing is so. Spotify really went downhill, man.
Yeah.
Dang, how so?
What happened?
What happened to Spotify?
It's a fucking nightmare to fucking get on. Like, it's a bloody nightmare. It took me about five tries to even get into the fucking room.
Really?
In the past, it would have used to only take me. It wouldn't even take one. It wouldn't even take one. It used to be automatic. I'd just be guaranteed in.
It's like just like that in a quick.
Yeah.
But now it's now as slow as Internet Explorer.
I used to be able to do it through the fucking the browser thing, but now I have to do it through the app. So much.
That's
yeah,
bad.
I've been using that browser like you suggested. I'm not gonna lie, it's still weird. It's still weird using it, but I'm getting used to it.
What, DuckDuckGo?
Yeah, DuckDuckGo. Here's the thing: I have to copy and paste it from that browser and put it on Safari, so I can open the app.
Always on that. I use DuckDuckGo every time I go on Safari. I still feel like it's very limited to what you can actually see, though. But I do feel like you're going to see a lot more than what you would see on Google.
Honestly, yeah, I've kind of felt that way too. Yeah, it has its limits, but for the most part, I think you can see a whole lot more. Or they'll at least show you a whole lot more. Than
I think I've learned a little bit more about our favorite guys in Hollywood.
Other than the fact, well, what else is there to know about
that? They literally, to get famous, these young people have to sacrifice kids to some type of ancient goal.
Gosh.
You think Katy Perry did the same thing?
Oh, how else is she gonna still look so youthful?
Yes,
that's true. That's true.
That's just fucked up.
I'm just gonna say this, man. Like, look, bro. If fate says I can't, I go bald or look old, then bro, I'm just gonna let it be.
But yeah,
I'm not even gonna get a hair transplant, bro. If I go bald, it's like I'm just gonna let it be.
Yep. But
I don't think I'm going to anytime soon, but So, Risk, what else did you learn? What else did you learn about them, by the way?
I learned that basically. Hollywood. Basically, these people in Hollywood, they all worship some type of mollusk. If you look, you know about the Pizzagate emails, right? maybe you don't know about them, but basically,
Oh, yeah, I remember
a bunch of
Pizzagate.
emails exposing, basically that. There's something, I think there's something in those emails that basically mentioned something to do with Hillary Clinton talking about how I feeding a kid to a mollusk, some type of mollusk or something like that.
Here's the thing. You know what I realized too.
Well,
I don't think you could probably stop it to an extent, but it's like in reality, it's like
you can't stop it. You just got to go around for the rules.
exactly. It's like you can't really stop it. You can stop.
Oh yeah, but also there's a clip. I found a clip. I think I put it in the chat. There's this clip about this guy, right? That basically he exposed a bunch of shit. And that he said he was going to die, and he ended up dying.
Wow,
Basically,
really?
Dan Snyder was one of them.
Well, that was obvious about Dan Schneider. Come on now.
Yeah.
Man likes feet.
What other one was it?
Man likes feet, bro.
George Clooney was another one.
Of course.
A bunch of others as well.
You think? You think Tom Holland is one of them?
To get famous, types of things. There's in Russell Brand, right? There's videos of him hanging around some of the West guys, right? He was deep down in the circle, but I think he went rogue. I think he was supposed to be his anti guy, right? I think he went rogue in that, and I think he decided, you know what? I want to be on the side of humanity. I don't care about this shit, and I think he tried to expose this shit, right? And they're trying to cancel him because of it. Either that, or they're trying to play this long con of this guy's trying to pretend like he's one of the good people when he really is one of the bad people trying to pull the leg over people. Who knows?
I'm not gonna lie. Speaking of which, I heard a conspiracy that there was this comedian who died and then he took up a new identity, Alex Jones.
There's a conspiracy that there is a rumor that conspiracy that he's so entrenched with these people that he's actually one of them. Which I can believe, because how funny would it be if one of their own was basically telling the truth, letting the lid on this stuff, but by their orders.
Yeah, just like The Simpsons, you know?
Yeah, there's some people that has to be awake.
It's like this galactical law that you must always be open about your plans. Otherwise, they'll be at fault for not wanting them sooner when it happens.
What the public doesn't realize is, ever since they were born, they've been drugged, and quite honestly, they've been substitute to MK Ultra and the Hive Mind, and what was it, the Monarch program with so basically, ever since they've been born, they've basically been programmed with some form of MK Ultra, whether it's through child cartoons or whether it's through television. So, for an example, this could be your local TV program called Paw Patrol.
You see, they're not gonna.
Could be Peppa Pig.
They're not gonna tell us stuff in cartoons nowadays because, like, now we're aware. Well, most people.
No, they will. They will.
People know too much now.
But it won't be stuff that will be relevant for us. It'll be stuff relevant 20 years from now.
Here's the thing, I always there's going to be a revolution, but it won't be televised. There's definitely going to be a revolution.
Can I tell you a little secret? True. Can I tell you a secret, guys? I personally, all the illegals that have come here, right?
Yes. And New York, yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I have this theory, and I might be wrong about this, but it's a theory. But the amount of immigrants that have come here, my suspicion is the Democrats are going to use these guys and secretly give these guys citizenship if they go along with what their plan, right? My guess is that they're going to fake an uprising, make these guys dressed as Trump supporters and that, and potentially blame Trump supporters for some type of insurrection.
Oh my
Didn't they
gosh.
didn't they try that already? But failed?
That was with feds, though.
Okay, got you.
Oh my gosh.
That
Espionage
was with feds.
bribery. That's
You
a
know,
whole new level.
My suspicion is that they're going to use all these immigrants that come here, right? They're going to literally try and do an overtake, do an attempt at basically doing it, right? And then they're going to use it as a way to persecute all conservatives. Could be wrong, but why else would you be letting all these immigrants in? Well, these guys could be fucking Chinese spies, Russian spies.
True that.
Or Saudis.
It's crazy.
Why else would you?
It's
Here's another thing I'm concerned about, right?
It's crazy
all
enough
these
to be
jobs
true.
are going away because of AI.
Right.
And all these foreigners are going to take all these jobs, right? What jobs will be left for everyday Americans?
Sports.
Manual labor.
Sports. But not that many.
Labor. You do realize the foreigners will take the manual labor jobs, right? And you do realize that the automotive industry won't be there because it'll all be automated. Supermarkets won't be there because it'll all be automated.
Dang.
Fast food workers will be all automated.
Yeah. And then
most of the music industry is going to be more automated. The movie industry is going to be automated.
Oh yeah, no. Like
what fucking industry is there?
Well, there's sports.
How's everyday?
Yeah, but do you know how many foreigners could become sports stars in another country? Like the NFL, the English Premier League. Oh my gosh, there's so many.
Yeah, you're right. All right, but yeah, what
about everyday Americans? What are they gonna fucking do? Because the foreigners will take all those fucking jobs, all the fucking hard labor ones.
Oh yeah, because Americans are lazy. At least most Americans are lazy. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Even I'm lazy to an extent. But I try not to be.
You try not to be. At least you're honest.
Yeah, I'm trying.
It's not. Don't worry, Eric. It's not much better for us either.
Yes, like
you can't do farming because farming's all going to be taken over. Farming's all being taken over by by machines, right? So there's no more big farming. You're not going to be able to work at Amazon because, quite honestly, Amazon stuff like that will all be automated.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. In reality,
no offense, but it does look like it does. I'm also going to say this. I don't think there'll be the amount of people that are driving right now. I don't think there'll be as much people driving as there will be. I personally believe there'll be 50. This one, I don't think with all they're doing to the supply chains. I personally believe they want to genocide 50% of the population. That's the only way I can see it. Like, if you're in the Netherlands, if you're destroying farmland and destroying food production.
Haven't the Dutch suffered enough?
No, it's not that. It's not that. Just that, Jimmy. It's like the Dutch provide a lot of farm for other countries, right?
Yeah, they have a brilliant agriculture
all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie.
Design, but
that's bad.
Now that you think about it, like, what jobs will there be there? Will there be?
Well, people are gonna have to stop being lazy and start.
The future of, and I've said this multiple times, the future of work is going to be gig work.
Or you'll be working on repairing AI robotics. That's the only industry left.
Personally,
but don't you think it'll get to the point where the AI repairing itself?
You're right.
You're right.
The end goal of this is.
Then again, that is a stretch, though. But yeah, maybe in the next decade or century, that could happen.
To have CEO. The end goal of these guys is to have the CEOs. They have the CEOs replaced with AI.
How about their sons?
What sons?
Sorry, like from the CEOs, like passed down to the son and all that stuff. Whatnot.
I feel like that's gonna go away.
So pretty much, the evil people are killing off them. Are like
are trying to kill themselves off, and if they don't get, we've got two scenarios here.
Man, guys. These people are. How are you a human?
Two scenarios here. These globalists either win, or the AI wins.
The AI seems like it's winning right now.
Either the AI wins and everybody gets genocided, and we become and it becomes evil towards us.
Our species become extinct.
Which is a very fucking high possibility. And I have my suspicions is I don't exactly trust I'm actually concerned about when we get our actual robots, right?
Uh-huh.
Because
Here-
in certain animes, right? It's in video games and animes. It shows that robots went rogue, right?
I think ultimately this is just
I think robots will ultimately go rogue and then start a war with
this is a
humanity. Guess
this is
what? Guess who benefits from that? The weapon industrial complex. Yay!
if you think about it, this is also a spiritual warfare too. This is literally a spiritual warfare.
Yes.
I mean,
The funny thing is that you don't realize it, but you're actually having everyday American people, everyday citizens of the world, are actually being subjected to military tactics, military brainwashing, guerrilla warfare. You think about it, we are being tortured. We are being tortured right now. You think about it, we're getting psychologically manipulated through the television.
man, I'll be honest. The television that used to be my thing back then, bro.
Even social media getting manipulated. Even I see a post and then I laugh and then I just get rid of it. I just forget about it.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I admit, television indoctrinated me to an extent too, because it's like,
But it did to an extent when I was younger. But now I realize everything you see on television is fake. Everything you see on social media is fake to an extent. But you do know that I do know for a fact that Joe Biden's incompetent, and I do believe that I don't believe. And here's my honest opinion: I would rather stay conservative. I would rather Britain stay a conservative government, quite frankly, because I have no interest in rejoining Europe. I don't think we benefit anything from rejoining Europe. Because if we rejoin Europe, we will be at the beholden of the globalists, or, e.g., the WEF.
The WEF.
The WEF.
you might
WEF.
need to move somewhere else where there's a better government thing.
Yours is infected as well, Eric.
I never said America. I said
If it's not America, if it's not China, it's very hard to escape the WEF. They've infected almost every single form of government.
then you'd have to live in
Maybe
the
not
forest.
to the same extent as Canada.
Then you'd have to live in the forest, then, bro. There's no other option.
Even
Yeah.
Brazil, to a certain extent, is corrupt. They're all corrupt. They're all
Bro,
working with each other.
There's only one thing you have to do. Then you have to live in the forest. You have to grow your own crops. You have to do all that stuff. You pretty much have to do that.
Or I could buy a private island. That's the only way. But then, if I say something they don't like, maybe they'll call me. Maybe they'll go after me. There's so many blokes with islands these days.
I mean, hey, man, if you can buy a private island, dude, shoot, so be it. I mean, if you make enough money with your investments and you can buy a private island, then I say do it.
I think I will.
Shoot, man.
Buy a private island.
Shoot, man. I might live in the woods. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Shoot, in a nice cabin. Sounds nice.
Yeah. I think New York should split into 2 states.
What about you, John, man? What would you do?
Do what?
Where would you go?
When the doomsday comes.
To be honest,
You'll probably be living in the high up district when it happens.
yes.
Because we all know it's going into districts.
Yes. And also,
The
I have my
Civil War
insider
will be
information,
coming.
so unfortunately,
The Matrix will be coming for us all.
yes.
So in reality, there's really no escaping the Matrix, man. Shoot, even Andrew couldn't escape it.
You can
Now,
only escape. You can only escape the labor.
Lost his fucking
force.
life to it.
Yeah,
He
you can
almost
only
lost his fucking life.
you can only escape the laborious Matrix, but you can't escape the literal Matrix.
You
You
can't.
never-
You can escape the labor force of the Matrix, but you can't escape the Matrix simulation.
You can't escape the simulation because they've got the power to debank you.
True.
They probably the government's never going to admit it, but they did debank Nigel Farage. They debanked Nigel Farage. They debanked Andrew Tate. They are going to debank Russell Brand.
It's been they did debank Andrew Tate.
Yeah, but they're never going to admit that. No one's going to admit that.
And I'll be honest, man. I don't care.
Scared of populace, if you scare the populace, that's going to make every single person want to withdraw all their money and crash the stock markets.
I think at this point, I don't care. I don't care who controls the banks, bro. I don't care if it's Jewish people, black people, white people.
Pretty sure it is Jewish all the banks.
Yeah, I know. Most likely, but I'm just saying. I
question if Emmanuel Macron is not related to the Rothschilds. Same with Klaus.
Yo, imagine if
that a bunch of politicians, right? They intermingled with the Rothschild bloodline.
Yo, imagine if you were a distant cousin of the Rothschilds.
Good grief.
Yeah.
Would you keep it in the family?
I think we all know the answer to that one.
Because technically you're a distant cousin. So.
Well, technically, biological sense, we probably all are. If you go back a certain thing up till Charlemagne, or even before that.
Yeah, you're probably right. We're probably all related to an extent.
There are 13 bloodlines, though. There are multiple distant bloodlines that control certain thingies.
I mean, it did say in the Old Testament that, like, you know, I forgot. I think it was Abraham. He fornicated with his daughters, or his daughters fornicated with him.
His two daughters. Yes,
his two daughters. But yeah, that's.
I do remember that vividly. It gave me nightmares to remember it.
It actually gave you nightmares.
Not nightmares, but it was weird. Why were you?
I don't know, bro. It was back then.
That's some type of Hunter Biden type shit.
I mean, bro, I'm gonna defend that. It was back then. It's not now.
Yeah.
It could be worse.
It could be worse.
It most certainly could be much worse than that. But yeah, no, I'm gonna say in his defense, if that did happen, it was back then. And frankly, I think his daughters did it. Actually. It wasn't even him. So they can
that makes it even more interesting.
So they can save his.
They can share the credits.
They can save his seed, bro.
I think that wasn't that in the Yeah,
it was in the old one.
No, I think that exact words were in the thing, so we can save his seed. Wait,
it was something similar to that, but
yes, it was something similar to that. I remember.
Yeah, no, me too.
Well, it'll be interesting who wins. But what they did it's clear as Dave. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say Russell Brand is not compromised to a certain extent. God knows what he did. We all know he had a weird sexual past.
I mean,
is he guilty? Fuck knows. But it's clearly what's going on here is targeted. I mean, he was starting to expose these bastards and what they do. He was going heavy on Big Pharma. He was going heavy on on everything else. He basically explained he basically talked about on Joe Rogan's podcast. If you have a crisis, if you keep on creating crises, you're never going to solve the problems. You're just going to keep creating crises. Where if you've got a problem where you have to create illnesses for people to make money, if you have to create wars to make money, if you have to create energy shortages to make money, you're just creating more problems.
Right.
You're incentivized to create more problems. And if you're not going to suffer any painful progress from it, if you're not going to lose money, financial money over it, like, again, every single fucking year, if you're not going to face any traumatic loss, you're just going to keep on doing it because you've got shareholders to please. Or the cop. Like, even if Pfizer pays a fine, then it's just cost of doing bloody business to them. Business as usual. We probably should set aside 20 billion in that. We made about 300 billion, right? Or 200 billion, right? We should probably set aside 20 billion in that to pay off the lawsuits and the plaintiffs. It's the cost of doing business.
Pretty much is nothing to them.
Yes, it's like the money they're going to get fined is like It's a lifetime money to us, but it's nothing to them. It's like 1 day of their bank account or an hour of their bank. They're saving their money.
Right, like literally, Pfizer being exposed, that did nothing. It was a shocker, but it did absolutely nothing to them. They're still in business.
What company was it? Citadel got fined about 7 million. I think it should have been 7 billion. But yeah, they only got fined 7 million.
Still a lot of money.
Yeah, for insider trade, for apparently securities violations or securities fraud and stock manipulation, naked shorting and a bunch of other stuff. And they only got 7 million. Like, fine. To them, it's nothing. They probably made billions on top of that, so it's just cost of doing business. So what else is there?
I remember something that George Washington once said, that when he created the term limit thing, he wants to show that whoever comes to power, it isn't a job for life. And it's not just for president, it's for all roles of government. And looking at what happens
Then
today,
why the fuck are they? Why is there no term limits?
no term limits in the Congress. So why is majority of the politicians in the 80s or 90s? I'm surprised they're still alive, to be honest.
Clearly, the president didn't expect us to live this long.
I'm surprised that they're alive for this long, most of them.
They're sucking on the tits of adrenochrome.
Good grief. That's just, ugh.
Well, they're probably doing that, to be fair. Like, if nobody really knows. What do you guys honestly think that happens to these kids, like in these like freaking disasters, in wars and like in hurricanes and like massive destruction events? Like, nobody knows where these kids are. My guess is they're either getting the kids have been sold into sex slavery. Number two, some of them are going to be sold in for experiments on testing on experimental drugs for human testing from companies like Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna. And the third one, slave labor for like certain types of companies, for clothing manufacturers in Africa. Maybe. Who knows? Yeah, apparently Zelensky's getting 25 billion more pounds from American government, sadly. But yeah. You guys there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, cool. I can't wait to see what literally happens with Ukraine. I can't wait to see Zelensky get ousted. Like, how long do you think it will be until he gets ousted? They're going to remove him and they're going to plop some other fucking figurehead in and he'll be a warlord. Ukraine will be a shithole.
Do you guys think Obama is going to be the head of just everything?
Obama?
Yeah, do you
don't think it'll be him. He's a pawn. If anybody, it'll probably be...
It has to be someone we do not know. Well, we'll never know who it is. Because if we knew, everyone would just riot like we would. It's quite obvious.
Well, it's quite obvious who it'll probably be.
But they still won't tell, because, yeah.
I think it's obvious, right?
Yeah.
You know about what, Jamie? You know about the Rothschilds and the ties to England, right?
Mm-hmm.
How about the? Have you ever wondered or thought that maybe Britain is secretly still the biggest power in the world? It's just being overshadowed by other countries, right? They did the whole Roman Empire thing. They went into defeat and they became nothing, right? But really, they're still the second strongest, right? What if literally UK still controlled most of the power in that, but secretly through central banks, right? But economically on the world map, it looks like UK is just a weak country. What if the new king, the king of the world, is secretly the king of England?
People chanted at Joe Biden's speech today, F Joe Biden.
What state?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just looking at it on Twitter right now.
Be funny if it's it'd be funny if it's fucking Washington D.C. or a damn stronghold. There are people in New York would say fuck Joe Biden. Like I've said it before, I personally believe that New York should be split in two. I think the city of New York and its fucking boroughs should be its own state, and I think the outside of New York to the fucking, I think it's like the Staten Island and all that should probably be its own state. So what else is there? What do you think? Do you think Kennedy's got a chance at winning?
Well, are they letting him debate?
They're not. I don't
He
think they
should
will.
really debate. He should really switch to his own independent party or become a conservative.
He probably is a conservative. He's probably just a Democrat. He probably is a conservative, but you know.
Did you hear about Did you hear about I think the Dallas mayor wanting to switch to a Republican?
Man, everyone
Yeah,
switched.
partly people saying he's a fucking rhino.
Everyone is
He's switching teams.
everyone is switching to Republican.
I'm not gonna lie, but there's too many rhinos in that party. There's people that pretend they're Republican, but really they're just a fucking Democrat in sleek clothing. Like the Speaker of the House of Republicans, he's a Democrat. Half the way they're siding, the way most of these Republicans are siding in most of the Senate in the House, they're basically Democrats. The way they're voting. I don't care who gets in next thing, as long as it's not Cackles or Biden. Preferably, I'd like a Republican. As long as it's not Cackles or dementia patient, number one. And for God's sake, I hope it's not that fucking California reject.
Yes.
Like, what does Newsom have to run on? Even if he does run, what does he have to run on? Oh, I fucked up California. I'm going to fuck up your entire country too. I made half my fucking constituents move to fucking Texas in Miami.
No.
Like,
No.
Like, what can you
That's
run
just
on?
embarrassing.
I made half my people. I made a shitload of people leave California to move to fucking Miami in Texas or Houston. I fucked up California. I'm going to fuck up your home state too. Is that what he's running on? I fucked your country. I fucked up my state. I'm going to fuck up yours too. Then we can all be a fucked up country together. Do you think we should go rejoin? So what do you think UK should do? Do you think we should elect Sunak again, or do you think we should go with Starmer? The weasel, the Euroset Starmer, the guy that wants to be loved by Europe so badly.
There is only one solution. Vote for anyone but the two.
Like who?
There needs to be competition for who runs the UK.
But who?
Well, I know you said they're a bit questionable, but I think the closest to like contend for the shadow cabinet is the Reclaim Party.
As long as they have no interest in putting us back in Europe.
But no, all they care about is, well, basically the values we're saying about the truth of reality and society. I think that's what the party stands for.
I was thinking maybe we could elect the SNP to be the head of Britain.
Oh yeah, and then they can forcibly impose that Scotland should have another independence referendum. Scotland leaves, and then they join the EU. Well, that would be delightful, apparently.
No. Why would you want to join the EU? It's a shithole. It's a dead end thing. We left for a bloody reason. We didn't want to be beholden to fucking by the
It's not.
freaking
But even
scumbag
that is the
unelected
case. It is
bureaucrats.
likely to. Even if that is the case, it is likely to happen. Unfortunately, it is what it
What's
is, and we just got to deal with it.
I don't want to be beholden to some unelected bureaucrat like Ursula von der Leyen, who was unelected. Nobody elected her. Nobody elected this bitch. Nobody elected. Nobody elected anybody in the EU. The only it makes it the EU makes it to the point where is there any point in even holding referendums or even presidency? Is there any point in having Macron or any leader in government if you're part of the EU?
The only thing you get from the EU
I
is
have
like
the
benefits ish, protection, free borders. Basically,
where's that getting you? If
Well,
we
what do
were
you
to
think?
join the EU, we'd have to fucking take in even more immigrants.
Yeah,
That's
is it?
Stormer's goal. He wants
Yeah,
more immigrants in this country.
wasn't that the reason why the UK left the EU in the first place?
Yes.
The immigrants coming in.
If Stormer gets us back in, we would have to take in 300,000 more immigrants. We can't
And
handle the ones we've got.
And of course, the UK have to pay their membership fee, like all the other EU members have to. Like, which is no point paying for
Like,
something
what do we
that
get?
just.
Like, no offense, but I think we're big enough to the point where we could literally.
I
I think
think
the
the
instead
UK
of
should
just
do
being,
just
I
fine on
think
its
we
own.
should try and make a claim to. I think we should make a claim to merge Ireland and Britain together into one thing, into one country.
Oh yeah, that will go well. That'll be a stretch, but we'll see and
We'll
find
say to
out.
Ireland, "How would you like to become one country? One country. You'll have your indirect. You'll have your.
They're
You'll have
definitely
your
going to say
freedom.
no.
You'll have your exact freedom, exactly like Scotland and Wales. You'll be able to make your own laws, make your own decisions, but we would just be united.
Ireland is still going to say no,
Why would
even
they?
with us. Well, the thing is, Ireland is like way more autonomous from the UK. I understand that uniting Ireland and the UK would have been united and still having its like ministry or something. I don't know what it's called, but honestly, I still doubt Ireland would definitely say yes to reunion. That is unlikely to happen.
What have we said to them? What have we gave them? What have we allowed them to take back our part of Ireland? Ireland for
I
that
mean
deal.
they might like that, but it's not. It's not going to be
What
budging
have we
them any
allowed them to
further.
reunify under Britain? Under Britain. You guys, you wouldn't have to worship the king. I say we get rid of the king altogether. Get rid of the royal family altogether. It's not needed.
I mean, besides tourism, what else is it good for?
Good point. Have you ever wondered? You know what Africa, right? It's so divided, right?
Yeah, poor Africa.
Here's a question, right? South
Yes.
Africa's massive, ain't it?
Oh yeah, it's massive, all right.
You know, I might have to go to the ultra religious part of Africa. I don't know if that's in Nigeria. I don't know if it's in Ethiopia. I might have to go to one of those places.
What I want to know is why the fuck haven't these guys? Why haven't the fucking these African tribes, right? Why have they united under one country, under one thing, and made it become big like fucking America?
You know,
utilize all their resources.
That's a good question.
Why haven't they?
You know, because my entire life as a kid, I thought Africa was just, you know,
one big
They've got
country.
all this fucking resources,
But it's just a continent of other countries.
Peanuts. They've got all this power. They got all this economic power. Why don't they have it? Why don't they have some? Why don't they have why don't they make all these people like all these guys all the guys that got regional conservatives, right, of the state, right, and everything else is operated specifically like why don't we make all these other counties and that instead of making them countries, why not make them literally autonomous states in Africa? Like America, right? They've got states, right?
Yes.
They're part of the union. They're part of the. Why don't they make a bunch of states, right? They got one. South Africa's the capital of Africa. Why don't they make South Africa the capital of Africa? And
Because there's going to be other countries that they say they want to be the capital of the fully sovereign state of Africa.
Even though it's the biggest.
Well, South Africa isn't actually the biggest nation in Africa. It's actually Algeria, but before then it used to be Sudan until South Sudan gained independence in 2011.
Why did they gain independence?
Let's just say religion had something to do with it.
What if they unified all of Africa?
I'll be honest. You know, Christianity came from Africa.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
It
like,
did, because I remember Caesar bringing it all over, bringing it.
I was
the Romans bringing it to the.
because here's the one thing I've noticed: Black people go the hardest on religion. I was like, wait, why is that the case? And now I know why. I mean, well, nowadays, not all of them, but most of them do. Especially the ones who come from especially like, you know, black people who come from religious like countries. They go the hardest. They like, you know, they're like, it's instilled in us too. And I'm like, bro, why?
If Japan and China unified under one country, how big would they be? All of China unified under all of Asia, all these territories, right?
What was that?
If China unified on all of Asia, right?
Yes.
I think how big that country would be, how powerful it would be. It would usurp all of
It'd be
them.
the only country to rival the US.
Think about Africa. Think of all of Africa uniting. What if all the Middle East united under one country as well? It could happen. Supposedly, all the African nations will be joining BRICS. 2 African nations are part of BRICS now: Ethiopia and South Africa. Argentina's part of BRICS. UAE. Egypt's part of BRICS. Iran. Saudi Arabia. UAE. I think we're gonna get Kuwait as well soon.
Hey, Risk, what country would you move to if you could?
I don't know.
So I'll be honest, I'd probably
I don't
move.
think any better ones. I wouldn't be moving to Canada or Australia. I'll give you that.
I think depending on where my ancestors came from, I'd probably go there to check it out.
I think it'd be fun.
I said the same.
Like depending on where your ancestors came from.
Yes.
I think it'd be cool to be a king of a country.
I think that would be a more smart decision because it's where your ancestors came from. So it's like, you know, you're just going back there to not only pay homage, but to potentially call it home.
Yes, exactly.
A king.
So yeah, you know, and maybe you could be king of wherever it was at. Shoot, you could probably even find a location that your ancestors used to like just, you know, be at.
I think
that'd be pretty cool, which is why I want to get it. Which is why I want to get like, you know,
Did any of you guys do any research on the Rockefellers?
The Rockefellers.
Yes.
Hold on, I'll be back.
So any big families you guys know about? Maybe that I could dive into.
No, don't think I know anything about that. I think I know more than enough about that, really.
Let's share some then.
Okay. Where do we begin?
Where do we begin, huh?
Yes.
Is it that big?
There's so many, you know.
The Medici, the Orsini. The Astors.
What about the first ever?
Sure. Let's dive into a story about the first ever family. Okay, ready when you are.
All right, I'm back.
Well, I thought you knew about the first ever rich family.
Wait, who was the first ever rich family?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Yo, imagine if you guys were related to the first ever rich family.
Good grief, that'd be awful.
I mean,
Go ahead.
That would explain why I got all the benefits, despite me saying saying so much to you guys about how society's functioning and what
And
the
you're
plans are. I have
and
so
you
much inside information. It's
and you haven't got
ridiculous.
and you haven't gotten in trouble yet.
Exactly. Even I do get in trouble. They're like, okay, we'll let you off. A slap on the wrist. Off you go. Shoo shoo.
Dang.
That's it.
You know what,
It's
John? May,
crazy.
you know what, John? May, you might come from a rich family. Maybe I don't. Well,
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 yes.
your family
well-
is technically rich, aren't they?
Well, they're not rich, but they are comfortably financially. Like we have
Oh,
more
yeah.
than enough to get essentials and afford whatever we want to get.
Pretty much, they're well off. Your family's
Yes, well off. Yes,
Yeah.
So like
pretty-
tell us about the story about the rich family,
the first ever rich family.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, tell us.
the one that you wanted to tell us about.
I honestly do not know.
All right, we'll research the first ever rich family later.
All right then.
I think it was the Rothschilds, wasn't it?
As a matter of fact, let me.
No. It's some ancient family. Rothschilds are round about before Napoleon.
Yeah.
Rich family.
The Rothschilds. Did you know that they manipulated
The DuPont family.
the
The
DuPont?
DuPont.
DuPont.
I remember that name.
Yeah.
DuPont.
Matter of fact, are there still DuPonts that are around?
Yes. They'll be descendants.
Ah, okay.
There's
I
still
think-
Astor fam. There's still descendants of the Astors. They're another big family. The Astor, John Jacob Astor, was one of the guys on the boat on Titanic. He was one of the guys that vigorously opposed.
Who's one of the guys on the
that vigorously opposed the creation of the Federal Reserve, which was murder. They were murdered. Don't get it twisted. They were murdered. These guys, him and a bunch of other Mark Guggenheim, Mr. Guggenheim, Mr. Astor, and I think another person, two more people. They were all murdered. They were some of the richest men in the world, right? They were murdered on the boat. But simply, it was a disaster. The Titanic was planned. These guys were the guys that were vigorously opposing the creation of the Federal Reserve, which would be the creation of the Federal Reserve, which in turn would trap all Americans in debt. He was vigorously opposing it. He died. J.P. Morgan and the bankers, so the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and these guys, right? They all said we want to create the Federal Reserve in America, right? And they did, and they eventually did create it. If Mr. Guggenheim and Astor and the other guys survived, I don't think the Federal Reserve would have been created. So yes, the Titanic was people say the Titanic was an accident. It wasn't an accident. It was mandatory. It was a necessary of lesser two evils. They had to get rid of these guys if they were to complete their plan. But the public thinks it's an accident, but it wasn't an accident. It was deliberate. If you look deeper enough about it, these guys vigorously opposed the creation of the Federal Reserve, which would trap people in debt. I think it was Wilson, I think it was Wilson, was it? Woodrow Wilson that wanted to create the Federal Reserve, wasn't it? Or was it someone else?
sure.
I don't. It was It was one of those. It was a president and a bunch of bankers, 12 bankers,
Yeah.
no 10 bankers. So what other? So what?
Well,
you're saying?
So I just found the first notably richest family from the 14th, going back as the 14th century.
Look
AD.
into Medici. That's another. The Medici is a Italian, very noble, rich family.
Yes, but there's another family that started a century before them.
Mm.
The Bardi of Florence.
The barley.
The Bardi. Bardi.
What did they do to get big?
Well,
Were they
they're shown as they're an Italian banking family.
So they're the people that created the Italian central bank. I'm guessing. Yeah.
Well, they were the first. They have to be. Otherwise, it could be the next richest of families.
The Rothschilds created the Bank of England. They created the Bank of Vienna. they created the bank of the bank. They created. I think they had some involvement in the Bank of Italy, and they also had some involvement in the Bank of Brussels. Wait, no, Vienna, London. The Paris branch, yeah, Paris. There's a bank in Paris. Most of the central banks in Europe, apart from and that. But you were saying, continue.
Still looking up.
But yes. So what did the DuPonts do?
The ponds.
DuPont.
I have no idea.
They're known by the DuPont. The name DuPont is known for like very very fancy lighters. Billion-dollar dynasties. These are the richest families in America. Well, the DuPont and Rockefellers are on the list. Some of America's most storied dynasties, like Astor, Vanderbilt, and Ford. Astor. Back review. A story. Astor. Okay, you were find anything?
No, not much.
I didn't expect to find anything on these families. They're very rich. Look up Orsini. What century was medieval? What century was the medieval age? Was that like 15th or 14th or 13th?
Dang. The
'Cause
internet these days.
Orsini.
It lasted between the 5th and 15th centuries AD. So it lasted longer than we thought.
What has? The Matrix.
No, the Middle Ages, when the medieval was.
Orsini. Medici. Orsini. Medici.
Huh, Gideon might retire from his crazy stunt in order to become a man of faith.
Gideon.
Gideon. The YouTuber who does pranks.
Oh yeah, him.
Oh
So
yeah.
doing.
Cool.
So what's he gonna do? Is he gonna be teaching them? It's good that he's found something.
Well, Gideon he's always been for as long as I've been watching him, he's always been Christian. It's just that, he just focused on entertaining more than, like I'll be honest, I can tell some people are believing God, but like, they would rather focus on entertaining more. Like Kai, he believes but he's an entertainer, and it is what it is, man. He probably does it. He probably does it. He probably does. Aiden Ross, he's Jewish.
Okay.
So yeah. Don't boo.
No wonder he turned out the way he was.
I mean,
it's a shame on his ancestors. His ancestors are normally good at banking. He isn't.
Come on now, man.
But it's true that Jews are always good with money.
I mean, okay, fine. Yes, Jews are always good with money. I'm not even.
They're also very good lawyers.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, I'm not. It's not. Here's the thing. It's not. It's not even racist. It's more of a compliment than being racist. It's true.
Are you supposed to lie and say they're not good? They were not good bankers.
No, they're good. No, they're great bankers.
Not good freaking lawyers.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Jewish people are good at saving money. They're good
I've
bankers.
always been told, always get yourself a decent banker.
Yeah, and as for Sneeko, well, he's Muslim now, I guess. But it is what it is.
What about Pearly Things? Is she Christian?
I think she's Catholic. Yes. I think I think she is Christian, but she's Catholic.
Okay.
At least that's what I believe. I think she has said it before, but But yeah, no. Gideon said he wanted to be a man of faith, and I respect that. I even watched some of his stream yesterday. I respect that. Kind of glad he might retire. He might retire from his stunts in order to be a man of faith. Because like I'm not gonna lie, he might become irrelevant. He might he'll gain like support, but at the same time, his fans don't watch his most of his fans don't watch him to talk about God. So people might stop watching him, but the real fans will definitely stay.
The real fans will stay, but let's be real here. Let's be real here. He was going to lose audience. Let's be real here. Like he gained fame very instantly, didn't he?
Well, no, it took a while. It did take a while. He because he was going at it for like a while. He
Well,
probably
So
he probably
that's good. So he grew organically. So he didn't just get hyped up like Aiden.
pretty
Raw.
pretty much no.
Okay, I prefer creators that have grown.
Because at one point he was at a certain amount of subscribers, but he was stuck there, and he almost gave up.
I respect the fact. I respect the guy that's literally been on stuck for a while, like on a certain area. Because if you've been organic, if you grow organic, you're gonna survive. If you haven't been growing organic, you just got subs like Aiden. He's gonna be fucking irrelevant in 2-3 years.
Here's the thing, bro. Aiden, I like some of his stuff, but it's like, bro, I just can't deal with
the fact that he's.
I'll be honest,
he's
bro.
a bad influence on kids. Those kids who really watch.
I'm gonna say it. This man acts gay when he's straight. Here's the thing. I think
he's fruity.
He's fruity. Yeah, pretty much. He's fruity. And I think it would be one thing if he was actually gay, but it's like, bro, he's not gay. He's just acting like that for the views, and it's like, bro, come on now, really? It's like I don't watch. I don't want to watch his content to see that.
What do you think of Logan Paul? Do you think he's Christian, religious?
No.
Nah, we've been through this. He actually
is part of the demon cult.
There was a discussion with one of his
with one of his former coworkers. He made fun of like one of his former workers for like
What about Jake Paul? Do you think he's religious?
Wait, hold on, just a minute. Like he mocked one of his former co-hosts faith.
Religion, yes. Yeah, that's
and
wrong.
Jake, I think he believes in God, but he's not religious. But I think Jake does believe that there is a God.
There is something. There's more to life than this. I just hope that. Do you think it's too late for these two, or do you think they've turned to the dark side and doing stuff like doing the ritual sacrifices to make it big?
You see, here's the thing with Christianity: it's never too late. It's never too late. But if you're so involved with yourself and making money, then you're never going to get out. You're never going to realize that this life is empty. You're never going to realize it. It's like because Logan thinks about money 24/7. And like, but with Gideon,
he's already fucking rich. Like how much money do you need?
The difference between him and Gideon is that Gideon, he probably does this stuff for money too, but he also recognizes that he shouldn't just focus on the money and not of God. Because at the end of the day, here's the thing. At the end of the day, this life isn't forever. Like this stuff is to save our soul. Is to save our souls, bro. Like to live in the eternal life. Because let's face it. Like no matter how nice you are, you can go to hell. The nicest person can go to hell. Like if you don't follow God, or if you don't turn to God, you're not gonna go to heaven.
True.
Absolutely.
I mean, like faith didn't like when I was saying that, but it's just true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's true. I don't even think Faith is really an atheist. I think I just think she hates the idea of like being sent down to like hell if like you don't do certain things. Like pretty much, she sees the Bible as a rule book. I can kind of tell.
It's not really a rule book. Like it's
a guide.
It's a guide. I would say a guide. It's not really a rule book. It's a guide.
That's what I'm saying too. It's a guide. It's a guide. It simply guides you to like live the best life possible. And I also heard in Christianity that like women should actually wear head coverings when they pray. I've just now learned that, but I don't think it's probably not crucial, but it's definitely in the Bible somewhere.
I don't get why women don't want to wear hijabs. I have a problem with it. I think
Honestly, yeah. I mean, just make your face look great, and like, yeah. Yeah. I think hijab. I think wearing a hijab is a great idea.
Hijabs were literally created for because back in the times back then Romans and the English, right? You were using, and most of Europe, right? They were abusing women, and that like during then, if you were wronged, if you killed someone like that, or someone you killed someone like that, they used to be able to use. They used to basically the person that you wronged basically said you're going to let me have your way with your sister so I can create a baby and use that for life. Use that, take that kid's life as atonement.
Golly.
And then the Muslims, right? They decided, fuck that, and they wanted to protect women, so they made their women cover up with hijabs.
Hey, man. Like, look. Hey,
That's the
man.
story I've heard anyway about that. But
Hey, man. Like,
whether it's true or not is questionable. But
personally, like, man, the Muslims, like, are doing a great job. Are doing a great job, man. It's like,
I like what
Muslims
they're
are great.
doing. I like what they're doing in Canada.
Are they
protesting the LGBTQ shit?
I mean, that is not funny. No.
What's wrong about protesting it? It's bad.
It's funny, but anyways,
it's bad. Like, but
here, man,
people
like,
don't realize it. But that's one of the major issues in this next election. We need to get rid of all this woke race stuff in schools. We need to get rid of all this stuff in like education. We need to get that stuff out of the government. We need to get out of our militaries.
Yeah, man, we got to make children innocent again, bro. Because, like, at the end of the day, it's like this stuff is just gonna corrupt children.
Yes, it is.
People demonize good stuff as corruption. You know what I believe? In the next couple of years, in the next couple of years, just talking about God in of itself is going to be considered hate speech.
I believe I believe in the future, if you're white, a white man or woman, and that you're a conservative, I believe that you will be treated. I believe that you'll be hunted down like the Jews.
Do you think there's gonna be a white? Do you think there's gonna be a white version of, like, like not Abraham, Martin Luther King Jr. saying, "I have it."
Needs to be.
He's like,
I feel like it's getting to the point where literally it's getting to the point where it's so diverse in that, but it's actually becoming racist.
Yeah,
because you're actually discriminating against other races.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. With black people, I would expect better, because it's like, bro, it's like, because we experienced the racism, I wouldn't expect.
I would expect it as well.
But it's like, bro, it's like, if you experienced it, why would you do that back to the? Why shouldn't we be better?
Say the exact same thing about why
Shouldn't they be setting an example?
Exactly. That's the thing, bro. It's like, I'm not gonna be mad about it.
I also don't get why they keep on asking for reparations. You were not enslaved. You have nothing to.
You weren't there, so
you weren't there. You were dead. You weren't even alive. Why are you complaining?
Not even your parents could be alive for that.
Yeah, our
ancestors weren't even alive. Your great grandparents weren't even alive. Why are you begging for reparations?
Yeah, our ancestors. Yeah, they were definitely alive for that, but it's like, we weren't.
And they already paid that. They gave you a mule and they gave you some cash. You traded your mule for your mule and your lands for God knows what you bought, but you got some.
I mean, it's just funny, bro. It's like, we're living in a time where it's reverse racism, man. I don't.
It really is.
I don't like that. I really don't.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know who will actually win the next 2024 elections in Britain.
It's like that, and it really does pain me, bro. I don't like the reverse racism. I really don't. It's terrible.
It's awful. It's like they're trying not to be racist, but then thinking about it is just racist.
Right.
If we can get, if America doesn't get a strong leader in charge, we are going to end up in World War III.
True that.
Because Biden, that guy needs to retire or needs to get put in a bloody home. We need to get rid of freaking Nancy. We need to get rid of like that. And Biden's not the only old person we need to get rid of. We need to wheel them out with wheelchairs and tell them, we're going to send you to the politician's retirement home upstate. we're gonna call where I say we make an entire hospital suited just for them, and we do a little role play for them. We make them feel like they're still world leaders when really no, you're just retired.
No,
Maybe we let them sign. We create some fake paperwork and we get them to sign documents,
roll them out in a wheelchair.
and we give them some fake documents to sign. It's not like they're gonna read them anyway.
No, you really said roll them out in the wheelchair.
Roll them out on a wheelchair, give them some fake documents to sign, and make them feel like they've still got some use.
Oh boy.
Did you know about yeah? Apparently a bunch of people on Twitter were mad about a Japanese family, going to McDonald's in an ad for McDonald's in Japan.
I don't see any problem with that, to be honest.
Neither do I.
It's just a family in Japan going to McDonald's. What's the issue? People are making problems out of anything these
I think
days.
the issue was there's a bunch of lonely Karens that don't have families and they're miserable and they want to complain.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
They are quite
There's also
lonely.
this bastard that's complaining, saying that parents have no rights, and basically that the state knows best for their children rather than parents, which I think is actually fucked. Because if anybody's going to know their child best, it should be it'll be their parents. It just seems like the Biden administration wants to drive a wedge through parents. It wants to slush itself right up against them, where basically.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I don't know, man. It's like if you're really trying to separate me from my child, I'd be livid.
Don't appeal in certain states. If you don't affirm your kid's fucking mental illness, they'll threaten to take your kids away. That's the fucked part. How many kids will do that? Parents will just say yes to that because they don't want to lose their kids.
They probably won't actually comply to it.
Probably. A lot of them will probably comply because they just don't want to lose their kids. But
No, I mean they'll probably say yes, but they won't
that's what we do.
They'll probably still try to program their kids so they're not indoctrinated by teachers.
I hope Trump gets in 2024, and I hope he fucking rids the fucking guts the entire country. I hope he guts the fucking military of freaking wokeness. I hope he guts the CIA. I hope he guts the FBI, and I hope he guts the freaking Congress. And I personally want to see Anthony Fauci set on trial. I hope they actually, the Nuremberg trials, right? I hope they actually reignite them. I want to see some people get freaking. If you think about it, was COVID-19 a bioweapon?
What even is a bioweapon?
Something that is some type of virus that is meant to target someone, potentially could be used as a way to execute people or alter someone's DNA to the point where it's susceptible to a certain type of vaccine or something like that could murder a bunch of people. Which last was a hangable offence.
Well, since you put it that way, it actually could be a bioweapon. That actually definitely is a bioweapon by that means.
Which the last time I checked, and by state laws and by laws and around the world, creation of a bioweapon is a hangable offence. So, yes.
So in other words, off with your head.
Yes, Fauci. And whoever
Bring the guillotine.
on that thing should be offed. It is a hangable. Creating a bioweapon is a hangable offence. It's literally playing with God, and it's literally mass genocide. And I think that is truly what COVID was planning.
They're gonna try and lock us in our houses again next year.
What do you mean next year? It's happening the next couple of this month, wasn't it?
It is? I thought it was gonna be next year.
No, I could have swore they said it was going to be happening. I could have swore they said that they're like going to be like they were taught out. There's going to be like a bunch of like freaking. They're going to be starting to make people wear masks again. and take vaccine temperatures. That's what I heard a couple weeks ago.
Huh. I might be. Who knows? I might be wrong. But I thought it was gonna be. I thought they were gonna at least wait till next year.
Nope, they're desperate. They need to. Remember, the election's next year, ain't it?
US, yes.
The British election's next year as well, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
Wouldn't it be more beneficial for them to wait until next year so they can use that during the election and to basically freaking steal the election for Britain and America in one?
So, like, both elections taking place at the same time, and then news outlets go back and forth between the two elections, and then people can base their opinions off the two, and then kind of influence
That's
votes for both.
That's kind of technically what they did with Brazil. What they trumped Brazil. They did exactly what they did to Trump, but in Brazil.
Ah.
Didn't win that election, I don't think. I think he was instilled, and they got rid of Bolsonaro. Doesn't matter anyway. Every lead leads back to get to the west. I'm not a fan of Klaus Schwab. So where do you see the world in 10 years' time?
2034 or 2023? No, 2033.
Yes. I think I figured out how to make money with dividends.
Really?
Yes, for each share of Kraft Heinz, I'm gonna get £1.60.
Ah, cool.
Add them up, that's about 20 quid. Get 100 shares, that's almost 100 quid. Wait, no, not 100. Should we end it here?
Yeah, it's quite interesting.